The title of this podcast is Maybe. Quite a few years ago, I listened to a podcast by Eckhart Tolle in which he told a story about how that was about not knowing how life was going to unfold. If you base it on your previous experiences and specifically based on your conditioned mind, you might think that whatever the future might hold uh, which includes uncertainty and the unknown, may not be better than what you otherwise thought it would be. And this was really, really important to me in my early days of utilizing the well-being practice that I start each day with now. And the reason it was important is prior to that time, the way that I would wake up in the morning would be in the grip of obsessive thinking. I would have ruminated over things from the day before, or I would be anxious about the unknown, what was uncertain. And that's a hard way to move through life. At the time, I wasn't aware that there was a choice. And the action that I was taking back then was to just really adopt a positive attitude with the optimism that everything was going to work out. But that did very little to minimize the suffering that I was experiencing, again, in the form of ruminations, anxiety, obsessive thinking, and worrying. And then when I listened to Eckhart Tolle's story that invoked this idea of maybe, it really helped me. So I'd like to share it with you here. He tells a story about this farmer, and the farmer had some land and he had a son. And one day, the farmer, a horse came, and the horse was helping the father and the son uh, tend to their land and to grow crops. And the neighbors kept saying, like, it's so great. You've been, blessed with this horse. The next day, and the farmer says, maybe. The next day, the horse runs away. And the neighbor's like, oh, it's a tragedy that, you lost the horse. And the farmer replies, maybe. The next day, the horse returns with five other horses. And now he has more horses to help with the land and with his farm. So the neighbor's like, oh, you've been blessed even more. And he says, maybe. The next day, the son is trying to break the horses in because they're wild horses, and the son falls and breaks his leg. And the neighbors again say how unfortunate and what a tragedy this is. And the farmer replies, maybe. The next day, there's a war that breaks out, and all the young men in the village are called off to war, except the farmer's son who can't go to war because he has a broken leg. And so it's maybe again. So the way that I've learned that life unfolds is I have no idea what is going to happen on the outside, if it will be something that is desirable or undesirable. But what I have control of is maintaining this equanimity, this balance within that no matter what unfolds, I'm going to be steady. Not too high, not too low, just rooted in the present moment, accepting what will come, taking intelligent action that is formed by loving, kindness, and acceptance, all of which will nurture inner peace and equip me to experience all the full variety and spice and flavors of life, as well as it will help me when situations do occur that require a strong response, that my response may be strong, but it will be rooted in being calm and peaceful, which I think has a likelihood to produce a better outcome and certainly to handle the situation much better than I otherwise would. So I encourage you that whatever's going on in your life, whether you are at the cusp of a relationship ending, or there is some diagnosis that just happened regarding your health or that of a loved one, where you're going through a job transition, and there's so much unknown that is that may be present, to just think about maybe. Maybe it will be okay, and maybe it won't. In either case, you want to be calm. You want to be rooted and being peaceful, and so that you can take intelligent action if action is required at all. So I'm just thinking about everything that's happening in the world right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's some things that are happening that aren't necessarily kind, that don't involve treating neighbors with loving kindness, seeing the best in people, not always, confusing people's behavior with their humanity. All these things that are going on that are the exact opposite of a loving path, the peaceful and kind path. And even in that situation, I still want to be at peace within. And if I'm going to be useful at all with what's happening in the world right now, it's really important that I'm my best self and that at all times I can see the humanity in other people, whether they see it in me or not. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. Maybe it will turn out well, maybe it won't. But one thing I'm certain of is that I'm going to work on myself so that I can bring the best me to every situation.